Master, they will come to pass. Huh. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
Okay, it is the Lord's Day on CelebrateLife.me on Reggae to Reggae, and we're doing a series on preparing for the proposal of the King of Kings. Welcome to Days of Preparation 9. We are in the 9th day of preparation. That means we have done 8 days of how you prepare yourself to accept the proposal of the King of Kings. And as always, we want to make you aware of the other options that this prepares you for as well. Because if you are prepared for a proposal from the King of Kings, it also prepares you for a proposal from a human person, a proposal in business, a proposal of marriage, a proposal on the physical realm. Because preparing for a proposal has to do with preparing yourself, not only to receive the proposal, but to be the person that the proposed wants to be with. And so we'll be looking at a lot of the adjustments that we need to make in our body, in our soul, and in our spirit. So you notice that I'm doing a little extra prettying up here. Yeah, man. We are looking at getting the body ready. And we're using the principles from the book of Esther as she was prepared for the proposal from the king. Right? And so we need to understand that the same principles exist. But we have in the Word our operations manual, our guidelines, exactly what we need to do to be totally prepared for this proposal. And so we will be looking at several verses, several instructions from the Word as to how we need to propose. We need to proceed in order to receive this proposal. So, the last session yesterday, we looked at the kingdom principles and how we need to be living in liquid love. The revelations of living in liquid love, the know-how of how we get to the place where we can embrace and actualize the Shema or the Shema, which is in Deuteronomy 6, and it says, "Hear, O Israel," physical Israel or spiritual Israel, "the Lord thy God is one, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and strength." And how to do that so that from it can emanate all the other loves that we need to embrace in order to prepare ourselves to be the person that the King wants to be a part of, wants to embrace. And you know something? He wants to embrace us regardless. So let me not put that in, that it is what you are or what you do that is going to make you lovable to Him. He loves us unconditionally. Because that was the first thing about being immersed in liquid love. You need to understand that He loves us unconditionally, and nothing we can do can change that. And that is really the key. When you accept that, then you will accept His unconditional love, and you will also accept yourself and love yourself regardless of what you do, when you do it, or what. And how to keep that relationship strong. And then it also opens the door to how you can have those strong relationships with everybody else, regardless of what they do. Bird can fly on one wing when you use these principles. And I have a lot of situations like that where I just shower my love on specific persons and they don't even prick upon me. That means they don't notice me at all. But it makes no difference to me because I am just demonstrating the love of God for them, and I am just being a channel for God's love to flow through. And I love to do that. You know what? When God's love flows through me to others, when I avail myself as a channel, then guess what? All of His love just ooze out through the holes in the channel, and I get heaps and heaps of it. So it's a win-win situation, man. Get rid of all the fear and guilt and shame, anxiety and depression and all the other things that our old DNA had, because that was the subject of the program the day before yesterday when we looked at changing our DNA. Boy, this time is so exciting about preparing for the proposal. So let's move right into this, because the background of what we're just talking about was absolutely essential for what we're going to do today. So we got to change our DNA. We got to learn to live in liquid love. We need to learn to embrace the kingdom principles, and we're going more into that today because it's the Lord's Day. And yesterday was our Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom. And we looked at the purpose of the Sabbath: to stop, to reflect, to enjoy, to embrace the love of God, to just have a time of worship and fellowship and relaxation and enjoyment as we look back on His blessings and His goodness and be rejuvenated and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it just is a fabulous day. It's my favorite day, Shabbat. And then my next favorite day is Sunday. But guess what? Every day is a favorite day for me. So Monday is a favorite day too. Anyway, I love it. You know why? I can have 7 favorite days because every day there is just something special. Monday is a day of anticipation. New week. Oh my goodness. What is God going to do this week? And Tuesday means that, whoops, one day has gone already. I'm excited. And then Wednesday means that, we're in the middle of it. Oh, I'm almost to the end. Thursday means, wow, Ben Johnson Day. But guess what? The Lord supplies, even in the midst of a famine. And then Friday, thank God it's Friday, because guess what? Friday is when Shabbat begins. So every day is just wonderful. Every day has its advantages. And that brings us to the other thing that is so important for putting all of this together today, and that is about the differences. Learning to embrace differences, because it is the difference that supplies us what every joint supplies. And this is why I love it when people are different from me, because they supply the things that I don't have the ability to supply. They supply things that I do not do well. They supply the things that I have no clue about. They supply the things that on and on and on and on. They are my blind spots. They are the supply of my downsides. They can't live without them. Those who are different from me. Which brings us to another relationship, the relationship between husband and wife. You know, we're talking about kingdom principles here. And we're talking about the upside of kingdom principles, the fact that it has only upsides. Only upsides, no downside. We spoke about the pain of suffering, the joy of tribulation, the triumph of trials, Oops! Oh my goodness. It's wonderful. So, on Celebrate Life, you can always understand and see the nitty gritty of how you can celebrate every moment of every day and every day of every week and every week of every year. And you know, tomorrow is always better than today. And today is always better than yesterday. What a way to live. That is the way we were created to live. And that is the way we can live right here and now. This is not about up high in the sky for next never. It is about here and now. So these are the kingdom principles that we will be looking at today. And the fact that the differences between us, between the races, between the genders, between the ages, between the social standings, between the economic standings, between the challenges, those who are challenged in one area or another, how all of them really are just supply channels to make us complete. What would we do without the downsides of lack for appreciating abundance? What would we do without the downsides of sickness and pain for appreciating peace and wellness? And what would we do without all of these things put together to stimulate, motivate, illuminate, and move us into God's perfect plan for us? Jeremiah 29:11. Love it. I have a plan for you. A plan not to hurt you, not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future, an expected end, success and prosperity. Oopsie. With all of that, who would want to choose anything else? So, as we move into the next section, we'll be looking at the nuts and bolts, the nitty-gritty of how we are going to move from that place to where He wants us to be. So come back.
On reggae2reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
Reggae to reggae, bun down bro mana. Make it burn, them call mana. Make it burn, bam go oh mana. Make it burn, make it bun. Africa we come from mana. Reggae to reggae, big up on yourself, see? Aile, as I would say.
Join me for Celebrate Life, where we will be looking at all the issues that you could possibly have and how you can transform them into a celebratory occasion. Celebrate Life on reggae2reggae.com. See you there.
Oh my. These words have been spoken by my master. They will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could
days of preparation 9, and it is the Lord's Day. Right, wonderful. We're looking at kingdom principles, and the whole of the next 45 days have to do with 15 days of preparation, and we're in day 9, and followed by 30 days of what the proposal of the king is. Because, can you imagine, usually a proposal takes, a few minutes, but this proposal is so chock full of things and promises and gifts. It's going to take a whole month for us to just wade through all promises that he is proposing to give us. And so I'm looking forward to that, because I have already accepted the proposal, So I just know where I'm living. But I want to share this with all those out there who want to get ready for the marriage supper of the Lamb, because we are the bride. But we have to go through preparation. We have to get all the body, soul, and spirit in the place where it needs to be, so that we can really embrace and enjoy the time of the proposal and the times after the proposal. So, I want to look at some of the laws of the kingdom. And we're looking at Mark chapter 4, verses 14 to 19. And boy, when I did this little study, man, it opened my eyes to so many things. And this is a parable that we have all heard and listened to. Over and over and over. Not just this parable, but several other parables. And we look at the meaning, we look at the interpretation, and now we are going to look at the application. Because it is only when we apply the principles that we will be able to benefit from what has been taught, explained, clarified, and interpreted. And I find that in a lot of hermeneutics, we just get principles, and there is our responsibility is to apply these principles. Let me just stop here. I can't blame nobody else but myself. Once I know something, then it is my responsibility. That's my part of putting it in. But that is going to be the next segment. So in this segment, we are looking at the second rule of Celebrate Life, which I haven't told you about yet. Celebrate Life. The first segment is always about know where you are going. Kingdom principles and all the things involved with it. Second segment is know who your driver is. That's the segment we are in. So the driver is now clarifying and opening our eyes to how we can apply these principles to be successful. The third segment is pay as you enter. What is my responsibility in putting these things into place? And the fourth segment is celebrate the ride or enjoy the journey. And that is how to make sure that with the pitfalls and the ups and downs, we can still have our joy. We just never is depleted. So, second segment we are in now, and we are looking at knowing your driver. Know who's driving this bus, right? And one of the things that the parables are all about, and you've heard this over and over and over and over. I think it's probably in every book of the Bible. It says, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. And that is really the issue. The issue is not just one of physical hearing, but it is one of hearing with the spirit, the real intent, the real source place because we are a spirit. I live in a body and I have a soul. So if you're hearing with your emotions, or you're hearing with your body, just the physical ears, that's where it stops. Or the emotions were carried in the wrong direction. You need to hear with the ears of the Spirit. You need to see with the eyes of the Spirit, because that is what shows you the essence without the emotions, without the impact of other relationships on what is coming straight from the Spirit of God into your spirit. So that is so very, very important. Hearing with spiritual ears and seeing with spiritual eyes. Nothing is hid. We're looking at Mark chapter 4, 14 to 19. Nothing is hid that shall not be revealed. And in this particular parable, we have just looked at the parable. We are now looking at the wiles and the plans of the enemy and how he gets to us. And I'm here to tell you, it says nothing is hidden that will not be revealed. Right? So that is, really the bottom line here. Nothing is hidden that will not be revealed. About what? The tactics, about all the different things that the enemy can use to get you off track. Because, one of the things that we need to remember is that we know everything. It's all there. And so, when we do something wrong, it's because we have made a decision not to heed that my mind did tell me, or I had a gut feeling. We have chosen not to go that route, and we have chosen to go with what I like to do. And the ones who operate in that way, you're operating from the soulish realm and not from the spirit realm, because that's where the spirit resonates. My mind will tell me, I had a gut feeling, or I don't want to do that. I feel. That's the soulish realm. It always leads you down the garden path. You know where that leads to? Enough said. So, understanding how we need to move forward. Checking my time. Yes. How we need to move forward is important. Now, these are the tricks that our driver is exposing to us before we get there. The bumps, the potholes, the speed, the sleeping policemen, the crags, the quick turns, the dips in the road, etc. And they are divisions. They are different from me. So, I don't want to go with them. Everybody's different from me. I don't know anybody's like me. Nobody's like you either. So we need to learn and embrace differences because they supply things that we do not have. End of story. Distractions. Oh my goodness, maybe I should do this instead. Isn't that a good idea? This will give me more mileage, in my exposure. Distractions. See what this book says? Whatever this book says is the route. Follow it, you can't go wrong. Distractions. Then we have complacency. Well, it made me so, but boy, it's a dad. Me can't bother. Police, complacency will get you nowhere. You want to go somewhere? Not that way. Procrastination. That's a great thing to do. Tomorrow, next week, when I have the time. That's another ploy of the enemy. And 4 is somewhere where I can't find it. But anyway, that was 4. Yes. division, distraction, complacency, procrastination. And there was a fifth one. Just downright nah do it. Right? So following your emotions of just, it may be fear, it may be lack of motivation, call it whatever you want, but those are the four ones. Because a lot of times, you know, we just say, I know I should do that, but I'm not doing it. End of story. Again, all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are your choice. Because number 5 is usually what we call the pride of life, the lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. Right? What we see, what we think is going to make us better, like eating from the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Remember that show we did? Right. And of course, the pride of life. This will make me better. This will make me younger. This will make me... The only thing that's going to make you better is following this word. And I'm here to tell you, when people say to me, boy, girl, you look so young. I don't... Is the juices? Is it... It's not the juice. It's not any other physical thing. It is the word which was sent to heal me. To heal me from what? Lines and lumps and bumps and aging and the word. Nothing else. The grace of God and His word. So, we need to understand where our power comes from. So, I am going to go for a break, and when we come back, we look at pay as you enter. What do I have to do? Know that God, my driver, has revealed to me what I am doing wrong, how the enemy trips me up, so I don't have to go down that road. So come back.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com.
This is the Uprising Roast Band, and I represent for reggae2reggae.com. Boom, shakalaka, boom, boom, boom. Sing, check out, I'm out. Trench down, you keep on rocking. Bang, bang, ding, bidong, bang, 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 trench down, you keep on rocking. Yeah, yeah, the Uprising Root.
So keep it tuned to reggae2reggae.com, and we'll have more for you. Keep it locked.
Oh my eyes. These words have been spoken by my master. They will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
All right, I'm back again. Okay, it's back again, and I'm in the third segment. And we are in day 9 of our days of preparation. And we are looking at more kingdom principles. We looked at the DNA, the liquid love, and some differences that we have within any group, and specifically in the body. right? You know, one thing I was interested in the last program was the fact that we have been given authority, right? Why do I know this? Right in here. It says so in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28 that we have authority over everything that was created. And then back when we looked at John 17 prayer, right? When he says, you know, he wanted unity just like how the Father and Jesus are one. He wants us to be one with him. And then it went on to say the glory that I have given you, that God had given to Jesus, I have given to them, the whole body. So we have the same glory. Then again, and we went on and looked at another passage. You know what it said? It says, this is a prophecy about the coming of Christ as a babe, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. But he, the head, shall be called Wonder, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. But the government shall be upon his shoulders. He is the head and we are the body. So where is the government? You have to exegete that, find it out. Wow. Moving on, because we are now in Pay As You Enter, which is your third section of this particular program, and we're looking at our responsibility. We looked in the last segment on all the things that the enemy tries to trick us up with, and they are the distractions, the divisions of unity, the complacency, the procrastination, and just plain downright decides that we're not do it. And those are called the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, which you have chosen, or which I have chosen. We're not saying I ain't choosing them. Sorry. I choose to go by this book because I have proved it to be right every time, and it is there for my healing of everything that has ever gone wrong and that will ever go wrong. I love it. So, how do we deal with all of these tricks of the enemy, right? Nothing is hid from us that will not be revealed. None of Satan's tricks have not been revealed in this book. And so we need to just look at it and see what it says. It says, you know, resist the enemy and he will flee from you. Submit to God. You see, there's a downside, there's another downside and an upside. It's a flip side. You have to submit to him so that you can resist. You understand? You can't decide you will resist. Where are you going to get the power to resist if you don't submit? The issue also of first, putting him first, seeking him first, so that you can now get all the resources you need to move ahead. Seek first, and all will be added. The issue of first not only has the connotation of priority, but it also has all, because what you do first sets the direction for the whole of whatever comes after. And this is why we have first fruits at the beginning of the month. This is why we teach first fruits. This is why we practice giving first. Moving right along. So, nothing here that he will not reveal to us, right? If any human being has ears to hear, we're still looking at Mark 4. I think it's 19 to 23, and it's somewhere here. Mark 4, yes, 14 to 19, right? We are still looking there where we're looking at if we have ears to hear and eyes to see will illuminate the truth. Ears to hear will increase our faith so that it will move us and propel us into action. And it is whatever measure you decide. I am reading from the text here, whatever measure you decide that you want out of this, you can get 10-fold, 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold. You know, there are parts that talk about 1,000-fold. That's right. What I do is that I research all of them and I just do whatever it says for 1,000-fold, because that's how much I want, right? And so whatever requirements there are in order to read that, that's what you do when you pay as you enter. It's about sowing and reaping. You cannot plant corn and expect to reap mango, right? So that's how it works. And you can't plant one and expect to reap the benefit of if you plant it for. You know, if you plant one mango tree, you're going to get all the mangoes off of one tree. But if you plant 10 mango trees, you're going to get the benefit of 10 mangoes. It's a law. It's a law of nature. It's a law of God. And you know, it's the same thing, whether you plant good or you plant evil, it's the same thing that happens, right? And of course, when we use our words to water, that's right. The washing of the water of the word. Moving right along. Because we need to look at where we are going in every situation. So, if your measure, you know, and there are a lot of times you need to do a study of measure, you know, like that study of measure. Measure. You know, the measure of faith. What is measured, what you measure from what you hear and you see, that is what you shall receive. How you get out of these creative words, what comes back to you, it's all about sowing and reaping. So we need to understand these principles of the kingdom. You have to say, thank you, Lord, that you have opened my eyes, that my eyes are open, I see. Thank you, Lord, that my ears are open, I hear. And when I open my eyes and look, where am I looking? Into the mirror. And I see the mirror here. And when I finish looking in the mirror, how can I look into the mirror and then turn around and forget what is in the mirror? Then I have not benefited from the experience. So, thank you that my eyes are open. Thank you that my ears are open. I forgive anyone who has aught against me, or I have aught against, or aught any coming going. Forgive me. I don't care what they did. Forgiven. Right. And then, you know, when you do that, then you put yourself back on the path of the just. You know, Proverbs, Book of Wisdom, it talks about the just man falling down 7 times, but getting back up again. And that's the difference. It's not about falling down, it's about getting back up again every time. And it's not just 7 times. Every time you get back up, you put yourself back into the place of the just, or you retain your place as the just. And what else does it say in this other verse? It says that the way of the just gets brighter and brighter and brighter until the day of Jesus Christ. So when we look at the prophecies of where the world is going, that is where the world is going, and those who live by those principles. But when it comes to obeying kingdom principles, I am on the way of the just, because when I fall down, I get up immediately and keep on that way. So I can qualify as the way of the just. And guess what? The way of the just gets brighter and brighter and brighter. So then we can put whatever chip they want in a people, or they can do whatever they want. My way is getting brighter and brighter day by day. That has been my experience, because I do not operate by the principles of the world. And that is what we are called to do if we are part of this new kingdom. We have a new DNA. We have new rules to work by, and all rules are according to the plan that gives us a future, a hope, and everything activities organized for success and prosperity. It's all given to us literally on a platter. We have not because we ask not. And so, as we move forward, remember that the way of the wicked gets darker and darker. So when you see people come to you and say, why it is rough, you see, why, not the money, whether they are in or out of the church, they are operating under the principles of the wicked. I don't care what is happening in the government. I don't care what is happening in the financial circles. I do not care what is happening in any circles. I operate by kingdom principles, and I know that every day my way will be brighter and brighter. That is not just a hope, it is my experience. And so we need to understand that this is not something given to me alone. In fact, I know reams of people who operate like that. Oh, the glory of Zion, friends, oh my, and brothers and sisters. Oh, I just love watching them because they operate exactly the way I operate. They are way over in Texas. It makes no difference to me. I operate exactly like they do. And so they are my real spirit brothers and sisters because they understand operating by the kingdom principles. And I just love it. You know, the things that are happening around us do not have to affect us negatively. They need to, in fact, propel us to not only operate by our principles, but to show others how they can operate by those same principles. That's the purpose of this show, so that we can showcase everything wonderful about Jamaica, wonderful about God's intent for us as individuals. And do you know whether you are Jamaican or not, you can benefit from it, because I am here to tell you that can be a reality. So boy, the time goes so fast. I can't believe it. It's really gone. Yes, it is gone. So I just want to suggest to you, yes, that this is the only way to go. So that we must take a break and tell you bye. No, it's not bye-bye. It's just a break because we have one more section to go. It's the end of pay as you enter. See you in a while. So come back.
On reggae2reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
Reggae to reggae, bun down bro, mana. Make it burn, them come, mana. Make it burn, bam, go oh, mana. Make it burn, bun. Africa, we come from, mana.
Reggae to reggae.
Big
up on yourself, saying, I love, as I would say.
So keep it tuned to reggae2reggae.com, and we'll have more for you. Keep it locked.
Oh my eye. Have been spoken by my master, they will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
Okay, we're back. And we are just continuing to show you how you can celebrate and enjoy this process of living in the kingdom. by the principles of the kingdom. And boy, I am here to tell you, this is probably the most exciting, I've said this all the time, but really and truly, it is the most exciting truth. Because once you live by the kingdom principles, you are able to get over, get past, get around, really enjoy your life regardless of what is happening out there. And what is it really about? It's about embracing the abundance. If you are operating with lack, let's look at the opposite of what? The abundance that God has really died to give us and just showers us with on a daily basis. They are abundant health, abundant wealth, abundant peace, abundant love, and abundant joy. Now, in contrast to that, the enemy has come with those 5 things that I mentioned in the last section about distractions and the others. Go back and look at it. He has come to kill, steal, and destroy our health, our wealth, our peace, our love, and our joy. Now, if we are operating under the stealing, the killing, and destroying of any of these 5 things, then we are operating under the power of the enemy. We, on the other hand, have the opportunity to embrace the abundance that God has come. And the way through, over, around, is through the Word. No, it doesn't mean just reading the Word. It has to do with reading the Word. It has to do with speaking the Word. And it has to do with acting on what the Word says. It has also to do with listening for a download of the Word for the moment, at the time, through your spirit, at the time of engaging in everything. Because if you see my notes, oh my goodness, I have about 25 sheets of preparation for the show. Right? I mean, reams, hours of stuff. I mean, really. But as I get at the place of delivery, I have a fresh download that pulls parts from what I have prepared. And so I'm not saying just don't bother, do nothing. I am saying prepare to the detail. Spend your time in this word. Just downloading all this stuff. And when you get to the place of delivery, the Spirit will just bring forth what is necessary and needed for that particular time and place. So you have to have no fear. He brings forth some of what I have prepared and some that I never even thought about at the time. And so this is the way of the kingdom. These are the kingdom principles that we need to embrace and walk in, run in, live in, immerse ourselves under, so that we can always remember how we are going to move ahead. How do we move ahead? How do we overcome? What it says? The word of our testimony and the blood of the Lamb. We spoke about DNA and blood. No, the word of our testimony is a simple repetition of this word. So we can't go around saying, I don't know. Ain't nothing that I don't know. Because if I have the Spirit that is going to lead me into all truth, there is nothing I do not know. Especially those things that I have done already. It's not in the front of my mind, but it is in my spirit. And I can pull it out whenever. But you will never pull it out if you keep saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. You have to say, I know. I know. My spirit knows. My angel knows. My subconscious knows. And now my conscious is about to know. That's how I find my keys when it lasts. Where are those keys? I know I put them down somewhere. Where are those keys? I know where the keys are. I'm going to find the keys. I know. Oh yes, the keys are right in front of my face. You think I'm joking? I am not about to say I can't find. I know where they are. Not about to say I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know why people do this. I start off a lot of times saying that now. I don't know why people behave like that. But I do know. And so do you. It's either that they are selfish, or they choose to go the way of the enemy, or they choose every action by every single solitary soul, whatever mind they are in, is chosen by them. Even if they are coerced, even if they are, conditioned, even if they are influenced, the choice is yours. I often use the example of the terrible twos. When you're trying to dress a child in an outfit that they do not want to wear, it is an exercise in frustration, because if it's the socks, you put on one and the other one can take back off. If it is the pants, when you put on the blouse or the shirt, you take off the pants. You know. Been there, done that. If a 2-year-old can choose, so can you. In fact, whatever action you take, you have chosen. And the reason why you have chosen is because of one of those plans of the enemy. Because he says, you know, if you do this, then people will think this. Or if you do this, you won't look good in XYZ's eyes. Lust of the flesh. Lust of the eyes. Pride of life. When those are the things that determine your choices, then you are on a downward spiral. You want to go on an upward spiral? Choose what the word says. And choose to use your words to create something that is positive, not something that is negative. So, I just want to reiterate some of these because they are so important. Nothing is hidden about the enemy's plans that has not been revealed to us. 2, anybody who has ears to hear and eyes to see and is willing to put it into practice will have the benefit. You need to understand, this is 3, that whatever measure you measure what you want to be, that is what you will receive. You want to measure by thimblefuls or cupfuls or truckloads. Your decision. I am a truckload measurer. Okay. The Spirit of the Lord is upon us. And He has anointed us, appointed us, and enabled us to be the healers, to be the channels, to bring freedom and liberty to those who are bowed down, those who are broken-hearted, those who are defective and deficient, those who need healing. This is what we have been saved to do, to be the channels of God's liquid love flowing through us to others around. And we need to understand that the spirit of division, which is one of the main plans of the enemy, because he knows that divide and conquer. Okay? But if we recognize that the spirit of division takes our differences and turns them into dislike and hate, when in fact those differences were what were put around us to complete us. I like the one that I gave yesterday. It's about Creflo Dollar was saying. I don't know why white people clap on beat 1 and beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And black, I don't know why black people clap on beat 2 and beat 4. 1 and 3 is for the white people. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what the black people do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. But guess what? When we all come together, we don't miss a beat. We are complete. So this is how differences need to be seen. That those differences are here to bring us together. So let us understand how to operate using the keys and the principles of the kingdom. Because that is the only way we are going to be successful in celebrating the journey going ahead. So, until tomorrow, when we start a new week on Monday morning, the start of a new week. It's bye-bye from Celebrate Live on Reggae to Reggae.com. Bye.
Saw a bird flew down this morning as if he's saying something to me.